I forgot to start the show, Leonard.
So is it,
It's going now, but we don't have any sound yet.
all right, waiting for sound. Put the note in there, waiting for sound. And we'll see if we can get sound.
All right, it's good.
Sound is good?
Yeah.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Sunday morning. How about that? It is Sunday morning. And how you doing there, sweetheart?
I don't know.
She's not in a great mood today. Okay. Not in a great mood. The sound is good. Good morning to Chris from Cambridge. Good morning to Chris Gallo, Dad's our Premier, Jeremy Gibbs, Leonard Donaldson, Rotorius, Austin Epstein, that's Rotorius, SM King Turd, that's SM King Turd, Triple Play, Zelmo, and a cast of thousands. And so, Andy, we were going to do outfielders today, but we decided, you know what, we do outfielders every day, but anytime something happens with an outfield, we talk about it. And we do that in our nuggets and notes. And today we had such good nuggets and notes. We'll try to do outfielders tomorrow. But if you have any questions, here's the difference. We keep our phones open all day. So if there's an outfielder you want to talk about, you want to hear about, if you have an outfield dilemma, anything, you can call us. That's why it's not so important that we talk about outfielders, but anything you want to know. Nobody, Andy, is there any other place dumb enough to give out their phone number and tell people to call anytime? No. We're the dumb ones, right?
Okay, we're the
But
dumb.
that's because we love it and we love the chat room, and we just this is what we do for a living, okay? Good. Which is
So we have a question in the chat room about
we
Renee
do?
Pinto and Soderstrom.
okay. Soderstrom, I know he was like the 26th pick in the 2020 draft, but he was drafted out of high school, and he's supposed to be pretty good, but he's only 22. He hit a $150 or something like that last year. He's had an illness coming into spring training. So don't look at him to be a star this year, okay?
I don't like him at all for your fantasy team. I don't care if you have to roster 2-3 catchers. He's only 22, and he doesn't have the experience that he does have in the bigs is not good. They say that he could platoon with Shea Langoliers a little bit behind the plate, but he can also play first base and DH. And
Not this year though. He's not ready this year.
They're gonna let him play.
No, they're not ready for him this year. He's 22
I'm
years
just telling
old.
you what I read about him.
All right.
That he's okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Renee Pinto, though, is absolutely a target late in drafts.
Home runs,
He is going to get the majority of the workload behind the plate. He's not going to kill you in batting average. He's going to hit some home runs. And Tampa Bay is set to use him, okay? Renee Pinto, ADP 439. I've relied on picking him in a couple drafts this year so far, and I'm rolling with that opinion.
Who asked that question, by the way?
I don't know. It's in the chat room.
It's in the chat room. And I know Boston Paul asked about Walker Jenkins. And look, there's not much to say about him.
Walker Jenkins.
Yeah.
He's like 18, isn't he?
Something like that. He just turned 19.
What does Boston Paul want to know about Walker Jenkins?
Look, I don't know a lot about him. I've never seen him play.
Has he even made it up to Devil? Is he past?
No, single A. And he'll go back to single A this year. So, look, he's still a player that we got to watch. He has good power. And, look, he's going to play well.
Is he 18 or 19?
I think he just turned 19 about a month ago.
So there's what we got. Nothing. Basically, nothing.
I don't really know a lot, and that takes care of that. But thank you for sending in the questions. Really appreciate it. And we will talk about the second string catchers at a later date. Hunter Pence, this is interesting. He mentioned how Madison Bumgarner has more career Grand Slams than Prince Fielder. Is that most craziest thing you've ever heard, Andy?
No, because I remember Madison Bumgarner could get it done, the batting, dude. And you remember that he did both of those Grand Slams in 2014.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, he's actually tied with another guy, Tony Cloninger.
Oh, Tony Cloninger.
1966.
I remember he had 2 Grand Slams in one game. I remember that.
Okay.
Not that long ago. He was on the Atlanta Braves or the Milwaukee Braves. He was one of my favorite pitchers at the time. So, yes, sir, Tony Cloninger. All right.
So Boston Paul is telling us about Walker Jenkins now.
Oh, he is?
Maybe he should have just said, I have some notes about Walker Jenkins. I guess he's the number 15 prospect in baseball. But honestly, I just can't give anybody a 15 number prospect when they haven't even made it. The guy is 19.
Not yet. He's not ready to be talked about.
All right. He was drafted out of high school, you said?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay. Anyways, let's move on.
Okay, moving
Yuri
right
Perez,
along.
the damaging...
Wait, it's a 631-406-7141. If you have any questions, I'll say about an outfielder, because we promised we would do outfielders today, but we got too much good stuff to talk about. But if you have a question about an outfielder, how much he's playing, what do we think of him, send it right over with a phone call, and we'll be happy to talk about any outfielder that you like.
So Rotorius asked the chat room to give 3 other catcher 2 types, and Triple Play came up with 3 great ones. Number 1, Austin Wells. He is the catcher for the Yankees, and that's all you need to know in a 2-catcher leagues. He's the catcher for the Yankees. Alejandro Kirk, look, I had a lot of high hopes for this Alejandro Kirk, who has disappointed a lot of fantasy managers, and rightfully so. He hasn't been as good as he was touted, but he still has good plate discipline. Alejandro Kirk will get the majority of playing time now that Danny Jansen is out. Also, Ryan Jeffers. This is a guy that Malpal targeted in a draft that we shared together at CBS. He targeted Ryan Jeffers, not because he's great, not because he's going to give you a bunch of great stats, but the fact is he's not going to hurt your batting average. So there you go. Great answer by Triple Play. Okay? And another couple of catchers that Data Premier brought up. He says Luis Campusano and Yanier Diaz.
Yes.
Okay, those are fine, but Campusano is actually going for quite high in drafts. I get that. I don't know why all of a sudden nobody liked him last year. Now they like him. He's San Diego Padres catcher, and he'll get the majority of playing time. Great answers. SM King Turd says Henry Davis, although I have to tell you that Henry Davis is not a catcher at this moment in time. Turd did bring up the fact that Yasmani Grandal could be hurt. I did see a little something that he's hurt. He's also older. He's a veteran. He has the job at catcher. The thing is about drafting Henry Davis, he only qualifies as an outfielder, so you need to leave your 2-catcher league with 2 catchers, and that is not going to cut it. I don't have any problem with Henry Davis as far as his talent. He's got great talent. He's going to be a nice hitter, but do not draft him as your catcher, as we do not know how long it will take him to get catcher eligibility. And by the way, you can't leave your draft without 2 actual catchers. So if you want to get him in, he's just going... I would say if you want to get him in reserve, that's great. He will eventually get catcher eligibility, but he's going costly right now, and I just can't see myself doing the Henry Davis thing. All right, so do you want to talk about your boy, Yuri Perez, who was out with a fingernail issue last week, and now we find out he's got elbow soreness?
Well, Yuri Perez...
Or you want to talk about Henry Davis?
Well, Henry Davis, we already did. He sat next to you, right?
His aunt sat next to me at the airport.
His aunt sat next to you at the airport. But and who's the other catcher that he was talking about?
He said, Turd said Jake Rogers, and Data Premier said Campusano and Yanier Diaz.
Yanier Diaz from Houston, right?
Yes, Houston
guy. He's 25, but he's not going to... he's a number 2 catcher.
Yeah, but look at his projected stats. This guy at 285 batting average. That's unbelievable for a catcher, right?
Well,
and 24 home runs, 80 RBIs. His ADP though is super low, 104. Are you willing to draft a catcher at 104?
Well, yeah, Martin Maldonado was let go he was taken over in the offseason. So we'll see what happens. But Diaz has fewer questions as a hitter. He hit an impressive 282 in 377 appearances with 23 home runs. Yeah, not a bad pick. I would go the extra $1 for Yannier Diaz.
Why does Boston Paul, you're just asking for it, aren't you?
Why?
Boston Paul says he annoys me, so of course I give him comments. I comment on you because I like to include you, and
Boston Paul is fantastic. One of my things that I look forward to is meeting Boston Paul. Okay? That's going to be forget
you guys can talk prospects all day.
We can talk about We can talk about you all day.
Jenkins, the number 15 prospect. He's 18.
Annoys me too. Okay.
Boston Paul, we love you. Okay.
Yes, we do.
I give you shit because you can take it. Look. Yuri Perez, I'm dying to get to this problem.
Well, he's got elbow soreness. You have to stay away from Yuri Perez, okay? He's undergoing imaging and testing. John Heyman talks about him a lot. Look, Perez will meet with an orthopedic surgeon. He was pulled from spring training, but Yuri Perez is not. You have to stay away from him. There are many other outfielders you can draft who are similar or better than Yuri Perez. And by the way, with the outfielders, here's the deal. We were going to talk about outfielders. There's plenty of outfielders. You know, in the snake draft. Now listen to this very carefully. In the snake draft, second baseman and shortstop, there are plenty. Okay, plenty. First base, you should probably get a first baseman early. Okay? Now, outfielders or a diamond, you can get plenty of outfielders.
That's not true.
What you need? Yes, you can. There's about 20 good ones, and then the rest are all the same. So, but if you pick up...
Exactly, and you need 5, so you better act early on outfielders.
No, because there are plenty of outfielders. For first baseman, there's nothing.
I agree. First base is important,
First base is very hard to get. That's the position that I would draft first. First baseman, get a good first baseman. Now, in the auction, I would hold off, and I'd go for the Christian Walker type and spend under $20. But in the snake draft, grab that first baseman because there's not a lot of good first basemen available. Okay? All right? So, as far as the Marlins are concerned, we talked about Yuri Perez.
I want to talk about Perez quite a bit.
All right, go ahead.
Do you want to say anything about it?
No, only that the Marlins are a big-time topic. They got a lot of injuries. They're down Sandy Alcantara. They'll be down Yuri Perez. They'll be down Edward Cabrera, Braxton Garrett. I'm telling you, just a lot. The Marlins are not opening up the season very strong.
All right. Yuri Perez, with his elbow soreness, set to undergo imaging and testing over the course of the coming days. Also, going to Texas. He's meeting with orthopedic surgeon Dr. Keith Meister. Now, we talked about him getting pulled the other day because of a fingernail. It turns out we found out he's got elbow soreness. Yeah. The Marlins are missing Alcantara, Yuri, Edward Cabrera, Braxton Garrett. Outside of Jesus Luzardo, there are a couple of options, including the number one topic of the day, Ryan Weathers, okay? Ryan Weathers used to be a Padre. I remember him from the bullpen. He was able to go multiple innings at a time. They decided to give him a shot in the rotation. The guy still couldn't get past 2 innings, no matter if he was a starter or a bullpen guy, which sucks for fantasy. The fact that a guy is called a starter means that he has to pitch 5 innings to qualify for a win. If you're a bullpen guy, you don't need to do any damn innings to qualify for a win. The Marlins are going to give this guy a chance because they have nobody else at the moment. Their bullpen is full of bullpen guys and not starting pitchers. Their top prospects within the top 400 include 3 pitchers, and I'd like to just go over them real quick.
Ahead. Go over them real quick. Take your time.
They have Max Meyer, 25-year-old pitcher. He underwent Tommy John surgery in August of 2022, just a couple weeks after making his big league debut. He actually has good stuff to be a closer. He's got a lot of movement, mid-90s fastball, one of the best sliders in baseball. He also has a decent changeup.
Now, who is this now, Max Meyer?
Max Meyer, 25-year-old starting pitcher for the Miami Marlins. He did throw 111 innings in the minors last year, and that was the only time that he's ever logged over 80 innings.
It's his name in your kitchen table. It was King Hap, right, Laura? Nice to see you both. Mal Palace here. And we're triple play. Tommy Johnson, Zelmo. Holy cow.
I don't think Meyer is going to stay in the majors, although they demoted him. They sent him back to AAA on the 12th, okay? Today's the 17th, so a lot's happened in that period of time, and he shouldn't be ruled out for a spot in the opening day rotation. He did a good job in spring. He didn't allow any runs in 7 innings across his 3 appearances. So he's got the best chance of getting in the Miami Marlins rotation because they definitely need more than just Ryan Weathers, who can't make more than 2 innings work for him. The next guy within the top 400 for the Marlins is Noble Meyer. He's 19 years old. He's only at single A, so you can scratch him off the list for guys that will be useful in fantasy this year. Then you move on to 19-year-old Thomas White. These are the only 3 pitchers within the top 400 that the Miamis have on their prospect list. This guy's a lefty, but he's 19, and he was only just drafted 35th overall in the 2023 first-year player draft. So he's not ready either, okay?
Well, I have to interrupt you for a second. We have the only time on any podcast in the country, any radio show in the country, where a listener calls and says, I just landed. Mitchell Larson says, I just landed. He's in Atlanta, and he was listening to us on the plane or something. I don't know, but thanks a lot. I mean, you're just great. You're all just great. Listening to us on the plane and saying, I just landed, nothing better than that. Okay, that's Mitchell. All right, just landed in Atlanta. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Go ahead, Andy.
Okay, now, Ryan Weathers, back to this guy. He gave up 4 runs on 7 hits and a walk over 4 1/3 innings on Friday. He struck out 4, so he did make it through 4 1/3. He's 24 years old still. So look, Ryan Weathers is not out of hope, and he definitely is going to get an opportunity. He built up to 79 pitches on Friday. He's got 21 strikeouts and only 4 walks through 18 innings this spring. So, look, I'm not giving my high praise for Brian Weathers, but he is going to get a chance. That's it.
Okay, well, the thing is about Ryan Weathers. Okay, he's okay, but he's not gonna make or break your fantasy team. I'll tell you somebody who will. At the beginning of the year, everybody loved Seiya Suzuki, but they don't know why, okay? They don't know why they loved him, except he was from Japan. And everybody loves these Japanese outfielders, and the Cubs have him, and he's having a monster spring. I'm going to ask you to think about this. How much are you going to spend for Suzuki, okay? How much are you going to spend for Seiya Suzuki having a monster spring, hit his 2nd home run of the day, and it nearly landed on the concourse at Sloan Park. So he's going to bat 2nd, okay? That's according to The Athletic. He's batting 2nd. How much you paying for him?
Well, his ADP is 104.
Oh,
and I'm probably not getting him on many teams.
But, I don't. Okay, but still, where are you going to drop out in the auction format?
I don't know. He's got a good batting average, and he's got the potential to steal bases, but he was a little disappointing in the base stealing last year, and he is 29 years old, so once you stop stealing bases at that age, you don't typically start stealing bases again. He's 29, so I love his batting average. I love the fact that he's going to play every day. They say he's going to bat second in the lineup. And who's going to hit right in front of him? Nico Horner and Ian Happ and Cody Bellinger.
Yep, and that's what you got. No, they're going to hit behind him. Horner's going to bat first, Suzuki second, Happ third, and Bellinger fourth. Okay? Are we clear on that now?
Turd says he's out 100 picks off. He's 100 picks off of that. I'm okay.
Okay.
The Astros' interest in Blake Snell.
Yeah, it looks like the Astros are going to get Blake Snell, right?
Dude, so many teams could use this guy. He's a lefty, okay? Attention to the Red Sox, who have 0 lefties, okay? Blake Snell, he's ADP 72. This is because he doesn't have a team. This is not based on the fact that he's not a good pitcher. Dude, he struck out 234 batters last year with the 2.25 ERA and a 1.19 whip. So look, anybody that's worried about his ability to pitch late into games, you can just scratch that off your problem list, because who cares if he goes more than 5 innings? The guy's striking out over 200 batters. Every team needs him. The Yankees very much need him. The Red Sox have no lefties. The Mets need a pitcher. The Astros have been talking a lot about it. The Giants, the Angels, those 2 teams have been interested. Here's the thing. Snell needs a dang job, okay?
Yeah,
so
he does.
What the hell is going on?
And what about Montgomery? I am shocked that Montgomery hasn't been signed, especially by those teams who have been hit. Who's the St. Louis? I mean, come on. He pitched in the World Series last year, and he's not that expensive. But he was never a great pitcher until the end of last year. But I'm surprised. He
was too. That was his second Cy Young. Yeah,
I'm talking about Montgomery.
Oh, Montgomery.
Jordan Montgomery.
I love him. Yes,
but
you're right.
Snell, he just outpriced himself. That's it. And many don't think he's that good. Too many walks, doesn't have a lot of control. His fastball is very inconsistent. So Snell is a tough. Unlike Spencer Strider, okay, now there's a guy. People are talking about Snell as a top pick, 2 Cy Youngs, the whole thing. How come Snell's not going for $20? The reason is not what Spencer Strider will, and Strider has been damn good. And he came up with a new curveball. In spring training, Spencer Strider struck out 22 batters in 14 scoreless innings. That's pitching.
Yeah, Strider's clearly the best on the bit.
Strider is the best. Now, for Strider, he's approaching that $30 mark in the auction format.
Especially now that Cole is out.
Yeah, Cole is out. Strider, absolutely the best pitcher in fantasy baseball.
I just don't think it's a good idea to spend $35, $40 on a pitcher ever, dude. That's just me. I would much rather have a couple of low 20s guys. Okay, that's me, but I haven't won lately, so
okay. Well, that's
shut up, okay. How about Jared Kelenic? Okay.
When the Mets traded him, everybody was absolutely on their case.
There's a young lady that I follow on X. Her name is Cassidy McMahon. She's a huge Atlanta Braves fan. This girl is just adorable. She's always putting up videos about the Braves, and she gave a little lesson the other day on Jared Kelenic. She said, look, it takes a while to get used to it, and she brought up a couple other players that were not very good early in the season, including Ozuna, who was batting .083 until, after the first month of the season. She said he's getting used to a new team. You got to just cheer for him. She says you got to quit acting like But here's the problem with Kelenic. It's his history. You cannot ignore the fact that this guy had so much hype around him. It probably ruined his career because it ruined his mentality. He thought he was so good that he didn't have to do anything to get better. He had a bad attitude. He missed a ton of time after he kicked the water bottle and fractured his toe.
Yeah.
And now they traded him off because of it. I was hoping to see that he would mature a little bit, and I still hope that. I mean, the guy is still like 24 years old, okay? And he absolutely was way overhyped, and I'm going to go with Cassidy McMahon. They call her Cass Mac.
Okay.
This young lady, she says, just root for him and cheer for him and quit acting like it's the end of the world because he is having a horrible spring. He's batting .077 with the 240 OPS. That's OPS, okay? They brought in another outfielder the other day, so we'll see what happens. Jared Kelenic is still going at 213 ADP. Last year he batted 253 with 11 home runs and 13 stolen bases. They're projecting him to bat with a worse average, 232. That's a big difference between 230 and 250. 18 home runs, 14 stolen bases. His legs are still there, absolutely, but he's going to get pushed down to the bottom of the lineup because he's not good.
He's a left-handed hitter, which is something they need, but they do have Michael Harris, who they love, Acuna, Marcell Ozuna, Adam Duvall, and watch out for this guy.
Adam Duvall just coming around now, signing with the Braves is not a good sign for Kelenic.
But here's somebody you have to etch his name in your kitchen table if you don't know him. Forrest Wall. We talked about him yesterday. Left-handed hitter. Look, Andrew Jones was invited into camp, but Forrest...
He's there as a coach, isn't he?
I don't know.
He's there as a coach.
Probably. But Forrest Wall is a player to look at. He's probably not going to be drafted. You may be able to get him in reserve, but he may just really start to play well and earn his numbers. So be careful if you have a chance to get him now in a draft that you're doing early.
They have two switch hitters. They have Ozzie Albies and Michael Harris, too. These guys are both switch hitters. So I was going to say that the fact that Kelenic is a lefty helps him out. They also have Matt Olson, who's a lefty, and the guy Forrest Wall that you just mentioned is
Forrest Wall's going to be an interesting pick.
All right, so Elly De La Cruz. There was a poll on X. Is Elly De La Cruz a criminally overrated baseball player? 3,319 votes. There's still 12 hours left on this poll, but they usually don't change much after this. Yes is 55.7% and no is 44.3%. Elly De La Cruz so far this spring batting .379 with 1 home run, 4 RBIs, 4 stolen bases, no caught stealing, 9 runs.
Right, so
11 for 29 so far this spring, and I gotta say the excitement is there for Elly.
Most people in this poll thought that Elly De La Cruz was overrated. 55% thought he was overrated, which means what do you do as far as what do you pay for him? What's his value?
It's high, dude.
What is it? $21?
It's dude.
Higher than that? I mean,
they're drafting him in the second round. He's like $35, $40 player.
No kidding.
He's going crazy.
Cruz. That's be careful. It's a big mistake.
Well, they're going to let him bat second again. You know, he got moved down in the lineup last year when he was struggling. He had a 40.2% strikeout rate against left-handed pitching last season, and that's why he got moved down in the order, which they could still do against lefties especially, but he has hit second for much of the spring, okay? That's right. He's hit second for much of the spring. They're going to give him another chance to hit at the top of the order. But I'll tell you what, you move somebody down in the lineup like that, and that's not a good sign. So anyway, Elly De La Cruz, whether he's worth it or not, he's going for it.
Okay. Now here's a little pitching note for you. Jose Urquidy, what's his name? How do you pronounce it?
I don't know. You said it good.
Urquidy. His elbow is still sore, and now we find out he's flying back to Houston to be evaluated by team doctors.
Okay.
So, we talked about his injury.
So the Astros just need Blake Snell all the more.
Oh, absolutely. Now, the Astros they do.
Do you think it matters where Blake Snell ends up, how good he'll pitch?
Yes.
Because the Astros have been very good about having doing good things with pitchers. Even Garrett Cole, when he went to the Astros, that was when his talent really shined through because he was a Pirate before that, in case you forgot that.
But don't forget, Verlander's got the bad shoulder, McCullers the forearm. So you got Framber Valdez, the only lefty. You got Christian Javier, Hunter Brown, J.P. France.
Hello to Mal Palentina. Hello to Maine Nick. Hello to Laura. Hello to Merrill.
Whoa, we got them all here today. Good morning to everybody. Thank you so much. Merrill is here. Mitchell just landed in Atlanta, and we are rocking and rolling with the greatest. Zelmo is here. Good morning to you, my boy.
Vance Wilson. Happy 51st birthday, whoever that... Do you know who that is?
Vance Wilson? No.
Chris from Cambridge loves his 90s baseball cards.
Absolutely. And I do too, but I don't even know who Vance Wilson is.
Okay, well, it's his birthday today, so let's wish him a happy birthday.
So anyway, I like the Astros to be a very good team this year. I really think...
that's going out on a limb.
No, it's not. I think that Astros are my favorite to be in the World Series. Okay, from the American League.
What? So you got the what? You got the Dodgers against the Astros? Is that what your bold prediction is?
I haven't really thought about the National League yet, but I definitely think it's the Astros in the American League.
I keep telling you guys about Ceddanne Rafaela. Now, here's the thing.
Oh, yes, you do.
I was glad you put him in the notes today because honestly, I've been talking about the fact that he's great defensively. He doesn't just play outfield. He's good at second and shortstop. And the Red Sox are in need of a replacement at second base because Vaughn Grissom is out and he's not going to be ready. And, I've been talking about his ADP, which is like, late 300s.
He can also play center field,
Yes, he was competing for a job in center field, but that's the thing. Jarren Duran is there, and he's going to get a chance before Ceddanne Rafaela. But you got to watch out for Rafaela because his numbers haven't been great in the major league. So I am touting him as finally I saw in RotoWire that they are going to give him some reps at second base.
Yes.
So I wasn't crazy thinking that, but
no,
nobody was talking about it. And he is playing in the spring breakout game. He's going to get some innings at second base and shortstop next week. He's still competing for the starting center field job, but they can move people around. It's not like they have a crowded situation going on there. They have him projected for a .248 batting average, 12 home runs, 19 stolen bases, 54 RBIs, and 68 runs, and that all depends on where he hits in the lineup. But he did steal 39 bases in 136 games across AA, AAA, and the majors, and he also launched 22 home runs in his age 22 season. He doesn't strike out that much, so you got that going. 20.2% strikeout rate, but he doesn't walk very much. This is the thing. He had a 38.8% chase rate, a 72.1% contact rate, which led to a 31.5% strikeout rate in the majors. So, yes, his ADP is 393. I believe he's going to get a chance to play either at second base or in the outfield, maybe a combination of both.
I would definitely draft him, and he's going to be under $10.
Yes, that's right.
It's going to be under $10.
Happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody.
I would definitely take him. There's no question about it. Now, give us a call if you want. We'll talk about your outfielders, your picks, and anything you want. We'll take your calls at 631.
Tommy Johnson, great to see you.
Tommy Johnson's
White
here.
Sox Al is here.
Everybody's
nice to see
here.
everybody.
Good morning. Big Al is here. 631-406-7141. We'll take your calls. We'll answer any questions. There's no other there, and we'll do it all through the course of the day.
Who knows?
If something happens, okay? Now, one of the guys I've been talking about for, a couple of years? J.J. Bleday. He went 2 for 3 with a run in their loss to Milwaukee. His spring training average is .353, and he can hit a home run. He had 39 plate appearances. He had a 3-game hitless streak. He had his 4th multi-hit effort of the spring. He's 26 years old. He had a triple, a homer, 5 RBIs. I'll tell you something. He's locked into a role in that team right now.
It's a reserve outfield role, though, and he does play all three outfield positions. He's not listed as a starter for any of those positions.
Right.
But center field might be up for grabs. Lawrence Butler is listed as their starting center fielder right now. But, yeah, he's having a great spring. However, don't get too crazy on Bleday. Last year, he had 82 games for the A's, and he batted 195. His on-base percentage was much better, 310. So, if you're in an on-base percentage league, Bleday could be a good late-round pick. He's definitely going to get some playing time at all three outfield positions.
That's right. And
Gavin Stone is...
Whoa, sorry about that. Go ahead.
Gavin Stone?
Yeah, Gavin Stone.
He's likely to open the season as the Dodgers' number 5 starters. Now, he earned this spot because he's had a very impressive Cactus League performance. He's got just 1 earned run with 9 strikeouts and 1 walk over 9 2/3 innings of work. He's 25 years old.
Had a big strikeout rate in the minors, about 33%. That's not bad.
Okay, but he did get knocked around last year in the majors. 22 strikeouts, 13 walks, a 9 ERA in 31 innings. So, yes, he's 25 years old, but his FIP was not much better than his ERA. It was 6.64. All right, he showed signs of looking like he did in 2022 last year in spring training. But, so down the stretch, he had 1.73 ERA, a .85 WHIP, and 35 strikeouts in his final 26 innings at AAA. And he had 3.52 ERA and 10 strikeouts in 7 2/3 innings over his final 2 big league appearances. His changeup is his best pitch. He's going .482 overall. He's worth a chance if you need... look, he's got a job, okay? He's pitching for a team in the Dodgers that has the best lineup in baseball, arguably, with the Braves, okay? But... .482 ADP. Is he worth a chance? His ground ball percentage was 45%, which is pretty darn good. If he can just get his strikeouts up, then he would be a perfect formula guy, but he's not cutting it yet.
Every once in a while, a player shows up and turns everybody's head. People are thinking that Spencer Jones from the Yankees is going to be a star. And everybody's trying to get Spencer Jones to some kind of a trade. He's 22 years old, never really had a chance to break in camp with New York. He's never played above AA, but he spent most of the year in high A before being promoted to AA. If he gets off to a strong start, he could reach AAA. So don't think that Spencer, what's his name, Spencer Jones, is going to play. He's having a great spring. Keep an eye on Spencer Jones. If you haven't heard from him...
He's not going to start the season.
No, he's not going to start.
It's AA is where he's going.
Absolutely. But Spencer Jones is a guy that many of us didn't hear about until now. He's broken out to be a top player.
We got Malpal here, and I got to give Malpal some shit right now.
Go ahead.
So Malpal asked me this question, and then he posted it on Facebook, and he got a bunch of answers, and now he's posting it in the chat room. You know how people continue to ask people the trade question until they get the answer that they wanted?
Go ahead. What did he say?
Malpal does not like the answer that he's getting, clearly, because everybody's answering the same thing on Facebook anyway. He needs trade help. I really think that he does not like the side that he's being told to take, which is the $20 Altuve and the $5 Munoz. That's one side of the trade. The other side is a $12 Logan O'Hoppe and a $2 Pache. He says this is a sold league, so saves are watered down. Malpal is not getting the answer he wants, so I am going to give him the answer that he secretly wants and tell him that the $12 O'Hoppe and the $2 Pache are the absolutely... I don't see anybody taking that side. So Malpal just did say that he asked because the responses are split.
Right.
But the responses that I saw all go for Altuve side. And right. I think that really it's a 2-catcher league. O'Hoppe is only $12 and Munoz is $5. I'm going to say that side anyway because this is a sold league. Poshy and Ohapi is the ones that I like. Posh and Ohop.
And because we're in New York, everybody's asking us who's going to play third base for the Mets. Now, of course, the Mets, I tell you what, Zach Wheeler was just let go. He could be the second best pitcher in baseball, maybe the top pitcher. The Mets just let him go. And at third base, they got Beatty and Vientos, and they had a third baseman. Who was they just traded him? The third baseman. They just let him go.
I don't know who.
All right, anyway, they let go their potential third baseman, who was a third baseman. They let him go, and now they got Vientos, who was 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts, and he's batting 171, and I don't know what the other guy's doing. Beatty, I know he's not doing great. So who's going to play third base for the Mets?
Okay, the Mets third baseman is Beatty.
No, it isn't.
Yes.
Go ahead, tell me why.
Didn't you just ask me who the third baseman is?
But tell me why.
Because that's who they have batting at third base, batting cleanup for the Mets this spring. Vientos is not good at third base. These two can both play third base. Both of them are going to get in the lineup. I do think it's Beatty. Neither of these guys are hitting great. I don't know for sure how they're going to do in the major leagues, but they're both going to get an opportunity for sure.
And if Beatty doesn't hit, who's going to play third? Who the heck knows?
So Tampa Bay is this Poach. I don't know anything about him. He's the bullpen guy, the setup guy. So this league that Malpel is talking about, they count saves and holds.
Uh-huh.
So the save position is clearly watered down, and you should never spend high on a closer in this league. I don't know which side do you like better, the catcher Logan O'Hoppe and the setup guy for Tampa Bay who got 24 holds last year. Okay, this is going to cost you a total of $14 for these two guys, or you could choose Altuve and Andres Munoz. Altuve 20. This is going to cost $25.
Altuve and Munoz.
I'm taking the O'Hoppe side.
Yeah, no, Munoz could be the closer, right?
Who cares? I just told you saves don't matter in this league because it's a holds league.
I'm sorry. But anyway, that's the story. To answer your question right now, if the Mets don't do anything, you got Mauricio on the injured list, you got Vientos, you got Beatty.
Bring Hojo back.
To me, it's going to be Joey Wendell. So if you're in that situation where you think your only choices are Vientos and Brett Beatty, third base, Joey Wendell, left-handed hitter, you may want to spend $1 for him at the end of your draft. All right, anything else you want to go over?
I'm confused about Malpel's trade. He said it's O'Hoppe and Munoz.
Oh, but I see.
I'm not sure. Okay, AL only is $12 O'Hoppe and $2 Poch, or $20 Altuve and $5 Munoz. I don't know for sure.
$20. I like, but there's no saves, right?
It's a holds league, so it's a saves and plus holds, so you get to count.
Yeah, I'll definitely take Altuve, who's the star. Always in a trade like this, I'll look and I'll see.
Holy shit!
What?
Posh is a relief pitcher for Tampa Bay who had 12 wins in relief last year.
I don't know. I thought he was an outfielder.
Holy crap!
All right, everybody. 888-963-2682.
And you want people to call? You want people to?
888-9. Oh, that's a Sirius radio number, right? 631-406-7141. If you got hit with something, you got a draft today, you need to ask us a second opinion.
Yeah, go ahead and call us up. Ask us about Posh.
Yeah, but don't ask us about Sirius.
He's an outfielder. We don't know nothing about him.
No,
so that's
I know
what it is.
About him, but I also know Sirius Radio's phone number. All right, so give us a call. We thank you all. I'll be back tomorrow morning, and I'll be talking about some outfielders. You can bet your sweet
Including Posh.
Including Posh. Thanks to Big Al, Boston.
We love
Paul,
you guys. We appreciate you. Thanks for coming in and talking with
Chris
us.
from
baseball.
Cambridge, Chris from Gallo, Laura, Leonard Donaldson, Maine, Nick, Malpal, Merrill, Mitchell, Rotorius, SM King Third, Triple Play, Zelmo. Wow, we are lucky as hell.
And Tony.
And Tony. Thanks to everybody.